Ladies and gentlemen, today we have the European Union delegation that was here, headed by the EU head of delegation and 19 EU ambassadors with us today, and we had a long meeting for the last 3 hours discussing, amongst other issues, the most important issue today in Kenya, which is the fight against corruption. I think the European Union is perhaps the single and the biggest development partner that we are working with in the justice sector. Today here I have Ambassador Simon, who is the head of delegation, and I will invite him to say one or two words on behalf of the European Union ambassadors.
Thank you very much. As the DPP says, it's not every day, but with the entirety of the EU ambassadorial corps, we go together and spend nearly 3 hours sitting down, running through a topic in detail, listening to an intense briefing on the activities of one of our key partners. I think that our presence here today represents a sign of confidence in the DPP and his office, a sign of respect for their work, and a sign of the importance which we as key partners of Kenya attach to the fight against corruption and organised crime. We've seen this week a very strong statement by the head of state in his address in Mombasa to the nation of the importance which he attaches to the fight against corruption. As the DPP said, I think we are probably the biggest partner, development partner of the DPP. We've got our program which we call the Plead program, providing some 3 billion Kenyan shilling in a multi-agency task force approach, so both to the DPP, to the DCI, to the judiciary, and yesterday we were at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission as well, who we were looking also as how we can advance the support. I think equally that 2020 is an important inclusion of the prosecutions and convictions and asset recovery. And this is not an abstract topic. If one looks at some of the key cases that are on the table, which I think the DPP explained to us today, that some of the 140 cases that are going through prosecution at the moment, there's, if I remember correctly, DPP, there's something like 213 billion Kenyan shillings in protecting the Kenyan economy, to creating jobs and opportunity, in particular for young people, if those funds were put to productive use. So we stand hand in hand with the DPP and his staff through our programme, through the judicial cooperation which is often taking place on some of the complex transcontinental cases, where close cooperation between the judicial authorities in EU member states and the staff of the DPP and judicial authorities in Kenya should hopefully allow for progress to be made. So they are, I think, the key points on our side, and congratulations DPP to you and your staff for your work, and we hope to see, as the President said, this also leading to successful outcomes of the prosecutions in the form of convictions and asset recovery.
Thank you. Thank you, Excellency. I don't want to repeat what he said, because basically that's what we've discussed here today. You're in the center. Okay, sorry. I just said I don't want to repeat what he said, because basically that's what we've discussed. And as I've said before, EU is our biggest partner and supporter in the justice, and we are very appreciative of their support. And they've pledged to continue that support, and probably more, in ensuring that we have the capacity and the ability to discharge our mandate, especially when it comes to fighting corruption. We appreciate the collaboration. We have discussed a lot, but one thing that I would want to underline, we've also requested the ills of corruption, and in supporting the fight against corruption, not necessarily us as ODPP, but Kenya. They need to highlight, and they need to take this, fight it through like any other issue that they have. In addition, I think we have, as the ambassador said, we have committed ourselves to ensure that convictions are brought this year. But then again, we've made it very clear that convictions is not just about prosecutors and prosecution, but it's about the criminal justice system and the chain within it. And it will be as weak as the chain that is weak. And we are asking, and we have given reasons why, we are asking for a level playing field. I think I've asked that severally, without blaming anybody within the criminal justice system. And hopefully we will get that. I think there's been some, I think, again, I want to caution Kenyans on the issue of convictions. We will get convictions, but remember that there is the process of appeal. And I don't want people to be disappointed when we get convictions at the magistrate level and people rush to the next level for appeal to the High Court and then the Court of Appeal. Because then the narrative will change. And the narrative will be, why are these people still outside there, or why have you allowed the appeal to take place? This is constitutional, it's a constitutional right, and people have the right to appeal. So I'm cautioning Kenyans that we are confident we will get the convictions. But once the appeal process kicks in, the blame should not be shifted to the ODPP or investigators or any other person. And neither should they blame the judiciary, because it is the right of everybody to have an appeal and to appeal against any ruling. I think I don't want to belabor too much on this issue. We are committed when it comes to issue of recovery. This year you will see huge recoveries. We now have the prosecution fund that was set up last month. We already have 2.9 billion in that account. We're setting up an administrative regulation and team that will oversight it. It will be independent from the ODPP. It will be transparent, and the funds and the monies will be there for Kenyans to audit if they want, and we will ensure that the team utilizes the money appropriately for restitution, because the issue will be prudent utilizations of those funds to restitute where they were stolen from. And of course, part of the money will also be utilized to enhance the capacities of investigators and prosecutors. We have pledged a lot more for this year. We will be concentrating in delivering, this is the most important thing, in delivering convictions this year. I think with those few words, probably the last thing that I will talk about is the respect of court orders. It is very important for all of us to respect court orders. And the ODPP has been at the forefront in enforcing court orders, whether they be bail terms, enforcing bail terms, or otherwise. And we are urging everybody to do that. However, it should be very clear that we did have a contempt of court act that was, however, pronounced to be unconstitutional by the judiciary. And because of that, we have no recourse to enforce it, from a criminal perspective. We had to revert back to the English law, which is civil in nature, and we are asking that we are in discussion with the Attorney General for that particular act of contempt of court act to be brought back, so that those who break and do not enforce court stewards, we want to, as ODPP, reiterate our commitment to the rule of law and of course the Constitution of our Republic. Thank you, and God bless Kenya. Yes.
Kuna swali, niruhusu nizungumze kwa Kiswahili kwa mtazamaji wetu wa Inoro. Kuna kesi ambayo ulikuwa umepeleka mahakamani kuhusu gavana wa Samburu.
Naam.
Ambayo ODPP imeshindwa katika kesi hiyo. Dhidi ya ufisadi. Je, sasa
wacha nikwambie, nimeona hiyo imesambazwa kila pahali. Lakini nyinyi kama wanahabari pia, tafadhalini mchunguze mambo ile ambayo mnapewa. Hiyo order unayosema ilikuwa May 2019. Order hizo ambazo zimepewa imefanya order hii ambayo mnaisema haina nguvu wala haina pahali. Kwa hivyo msidanganywe na msikubali kudanganywa kupeleka habari ambazo zisizo sawa. Tafadhalini chunguzeni, angalieni, mtuulize ili tuweze kuwafafanulia ndio wananchi wafahamu. Order hiyo ni ya kitambo na haiwezi kutumika hivi sasa. Kwa hivyo inafaa wajue.